Hey, so I have a message for all my men out there. Men, don't bite the bait. Don't be scared to speak in your natural voice that the Most High has blessed you with. Don't be scared to act in accordance to your God-given nature as a man. To speak up when the time is right, to be outspoken, to be an outcast if need be. Social engineering right now and the effects of that we are seeing is absolutely insane. They have tried to train us men, program us men to be scared to speak up against evil, to be politically correct and operate from a socially conformative paradigm where we are scared to be outspoken. We're scared to, use those things, in between our legs that God has given us, and none of us have been exempt, including myself. We all have grown up within this social engineering through the media, through sociological norms, through all these things that have tried to flip the tables 180 on its axis. And, just to get a little bit deep, who knows out there about the Kabbalah agenda with androgyny, the masculine and the feminine, and blurring the lines between both genders. So they have tried to make us men, they've tried to castrate us men. They've tried to castrate us and suppress our God-given nature as men. I mean, the Most High made us men. The Most High made us care about the things that we care about, with the ability to speak boldly and be outspoken. But yet through this political correctness and sociological paradigm that we see out there, this has taken that away. It's taken that away, and it's made us scared to speak from that moral compass that the Most High has blessed each and every one of us with. It's made us scared to speak from that moral conviction that we have, and it's made us scared to speak up against evil. But you see, what they've done is they have tried to blur the lines, in order to get us to acquiesce to their evil agendas. They've blurred the lines to make us scared to speak out, scared to be outspoken. And I'm here to tell you today, my brothers, do not be afraid to speak in the natural voice that the Most High has blessed you with. Do not be afraid to speak up and use that righteous conviction that the Most High has given you. When you know deep down something is not right, to stand up for the little guy, to stand up for injustice. Don't be afraid to use your voice. And a lot of the times, we can be scared to speak about these things because the person on the other side of the computer screen in front of their keyboard, right, they're going to mislabel us, they're going to misjudge us, call us, in a time, like it says, there's a time and place for everything, right? So sometimes we speak out of urgency or we speak in boldness because the context of the situation, allows us to do so. Yet people are going to call us, things that, aren't necessarily true. People are going to mislabel us, misjudge us. I always love reverting back to Jesus, because he walked on water, cured the blind, healed the sick, raised people from the dead. Yet his own people still had something negative to say about him. And, rightfully so, if that's from a godly place of truth. But majority of the time, a lot of people do this when they are insecure. They're scared themselves. Or they see someone who's broken out of the programming, right, and they are still under the programming, And usually these are the types of people who say these things. So everybody's got an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, but, this social engineering, this brainwashing, this program, all in order to get us to be socially conformative in a way that allows us to acquiesce to the beast's agenda. But we've all been, none of us are exempt. We've all been brought up in this society of complete social engineering, So I want you to know that it's completely normal if you have a righteous conviction to be speaking up against things out there that are completely wrong. No matter if people say that you're complaining, if people say that, you know, they make up all these kinds of things, and it's like, you know, well, they're not speaking up against the evil, right? But they don't have a problem speaking. They don't have a problem speaking against those who are speaking these things, and that tells you everything you need to know. So, men, don't be afraid to don't be afraid to speak your godly conviction that the Most High has blessed you within your moral compass that He has given you. You know, do not be afraid to be outspoken or say the things that need to be said, because they have tried to suppress the nature of us men, you know, that God has blessed us with. They have tried to, for all these years, to flip the tables 180 on their axis, you know, and we can't allow them to do that. But, you know, I pray that this message has blessed you. You know, beautiful day out there right now. So all praises to the Most High. And we will see you in the next video.